So the next weed I want to talk about is perception of ourselves. Perception of ourselves. I know a lot of you have heard parts of my story, how my first book was about my experience of being date raped and how God helped me put my life back together from that. And then my relationship with my dad has been such an incredible, it's the most powerful story of my life, the reconciliation and how he's my biggest cheerleader now. A story that many people though don't ever hear about my life is this disease that I had that they found when I was 8. And what it was the disc that was holding my upper and lower jaw together started to disintegrate. And so over time, nothing would be holding my upper and lower jaw. And so they couldn't do surgery until I stopped growing, right? Because they didn't want to do it prematurely and then have to go in and redo it again. By the time I was 16, my jaw had come so far forward and shifted to the side that it pulled my right eye down. My eyes were not balanced. My upper lip was completely gone. And I had never had my cheekbones develop. So I'll just tell you what the kids called me in high school. They called me landslide. My face looked like a landslide in a lot of ways. So when I was 16, I finally stopped growing, and we went in for surgery, and they literally sawed my skull in half. And I have titanium plates and nuts and bolts all through my skull. When I go through security sometimes, it's always just such a joy. But literally, they had to restructure my whole face. They had to bring my jaw bring the upper part of my skull forward. The doctor leveled out my eyes, and they took bone from my hip and built up my cheekbones and cleared my nasal passages. And then when I woke up from this 10-hour surgery, then I heard the first thing the nurse said to me is, the doctor gave you heart-shaped lips, because he had to reshape my upper lip because it had been totally pulled under. And I remember that was the most painful physical pain I have ever been through in my life. Childbirth doesn't even touch that pain. And I went back to school, and the teachers thought I was a new student. People didn't recognize me. And that was also a really difficult time for my dad and I, and him not being able to call me out, but doing the opposite. Can you believe that it wasn't until 10 years later that one day I looked in the mirror and I said, Lord, I don't want to see a landslide anymore. My face looked so different from that surgery on, but every time I looked in the mirror, I still saw that same face. Do you see what I'm saying? It didn't matter that the surgery had happened. It didn't matter that all the scars were on the inside and you couldn't tell. I still carried this perception of myself that I looked like a monster. I remember saying that once to Brian, our second year of marriage, and he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, I don't want to wear my hair this way because my jaw comes so far forward. I still believed that my jaw came really far forward. So one of the reasons I wear a hairband, there's a few reasons. One is because it keeps my hair out of my face when I'm shooting, and I really need my hair out of my face so I can focus on the camera. Another reason is because it's been a great way for people to recognize me as we get more and more on TV. They're like, oh, I remember her, the girl with that man. But another internal reason for me is not hiding my face. Stepping into the real person that I am, who God's made me to be and who He's shaped me to be. Because it doesn't matter what any doctor did. If I don't believe it, I don't believe it.